Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change.
Standing out from the crowd is a challenge. You have the passion, courage, and ambition to do something extraordinary. You have an awesome story to tell and a wonderful vision to share with the world. At Eddie Videos, we take that vision and turn it into reality so you can be heard above the rest. You need something different, and we give you the ultimate advantage. We can help you transform your ideas, images, and clips into a professional video that brings your message to life and sets a new bar for excellence. Visuals, voiceovers, editing, animations, whatever you need, we've got it all. If you're a new business looking to make your mark or an experienced company searching for something new and amazing, we're here to help. Trust us to take your video to amazing levels of awesomeness.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to Tuesday nights, and that only means one thing: the UkSimracers MX5 Season 3 of 2023 Round 10 live from Magny Cours in France. Track length 4.411 kilometers, 2.741 miles, 17 turns, and believe it or not, the track record was set back in 2004 by Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari F2004. Funny enough, on that one there was 3 layouts of this track: the national circuit, the club circuit, and the Grand Prix circuit that we are on today. It holds the Superbikes, the Alpine Europa Cup, the FFSA GT, and the Boss GP, and it did hold the Formula 1 French Grand Prix from 1991 to 2008. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by one Mr. Zach Sweeney here this evening as well. Good evening, Phil. Good evening, Ewan Bramer. And let's bring you up to date with the current championship standings. Out in front is Tom Griffiths on 1,187. with Jamie Ayres in second on 1,176. John Sylvester in third on 1,114, with Pete Van Gaal on 1,072, and then Ewan Bramer on 1,061. Miles Owens 1,002. Dan Hunt on 912 with Pete Newman 851. Then you got Ralph Cullen, Steve Hefford, Charles Kellerman, Martin Sampson, and Darren McLean. In the AM Championship, it is Darrell Wright out in front on 789, with Andy Littler in second on 626. Jason Haddington in third on 597, with Arnaud Chagnonier on 580. Alan Toon in fifth on 533, with Dale Bennison on 260. Then you've got Mick Barry, Dan Lewis, Roger Morton, Jordan Syrett, Steve Hansford, Callum McPherson, and then down the bottom is Anthony Jacobson. In the team standings, it is still Momo out in front on 4,019, with SOB on 3,910. Results Clothing on 1,751. They're up 4 places over the Work Guide by Results on 1,554. Then Smart Racing on 1,220. And then Optical Green on 1,017. Then you've got DOF Reality, Safeguard by Result, and Pure Sims. As we know, there is a Commentators Championship going on at this moment in time, and as we enter round 10, Zach Sweeney had a barnstorming week last week, pulling out 30-something points over me, and now only sits 1 point back. I'm on 1,944. Zach's on 1,943. So there is 1 point in it as we go into round 10. But what plans to be an epic evening of races. 4 15-minute heats, the top 8 reverse for race 2, random reverse for race 3, and then we will bring you the reverse for race 4 a little bit later on. 15 minutes of open qualifying still to come as we come to the end of practice, but that is basically where we are today. Let's bring Zach Sweeney into the booth and have a chat with him. How are you, young sir?
You know what? I'm getting better each week because the commentator standings look better each week. So now there's only 1 point between us because I've finally, gone for some safe options. Got some points in the bag, and now we're going to be in for a very interesting final 12 races to this season. And yeah, hopefully 4 fantastic ones here at Magny Cours because it's not everyone's favourite. Again, I can only remember actually one time of commentating around this circuit. It was an all right race, but we know what these MX5s are like. We know how good these guys are, and we can take them anywhere, and they'll have a good time.
Yeah, I'm not a lover of Magny Cours. I'm sorry, probably a very unpopular opinion, but I am not a lover of this circuit. There is no specific reason to it, to be honest with you, Zach. I just don't like it. I don't know. I can't actually work out.
There's not many good French circuits, are there?
No, I can't work out what car would actually suit this track. Like, I've seen TCRs here, I've seen F3s here, MX5s, GR86s, and I just can't work out what car is best. I really cannot work out which car would work at this circuit.
Hopefully the MX5s work. That would be good. I'm just trying to think actually, because anything too fast wouldn't work.
No.
Anything too slow would just be boring. So you do need that middle. F4s maybe would be all right around here, maybe. But again, they're a fairly quick car, and the only major braking point is into Adelaide, that back end hairpin of turn 5. Turn 5, yeah.
Turn 5, yeah.
That's a decent braking zone. But apart from that, it's a fun circuit because it flows quite nicely. But yeah, anything that doesn't need to slam on the brakes might not be the most fun thing in the world. But who knows? Again, these guys, the MX5s, couple of long straights here, plenty of slipstream opportunities, and the tail end of the season as well. It should be good. Should be good.
Well, I'm sure the racing with these guys is always good, right? We say this every single week, and it is always quality. It's just, I don't really know where to go with the track. I
Neither does Pete Newman.
Neither does Pete or Dan Hunt, unfortunately. as they're having a little bit of a tat-a-tat on the screen at the moment, as you can see there. So unfortunately for them, they're going to have to try and get another out lap, or basically build up on the lap that they're on at the moment here as well. You know, the thing with Magny, we've got the one braking zone down into turn 5, right? You could look at turn 14 at Chateau d'Eur as another one. And then maybe down to 15... it's hit and miss with that corner, basically, whether or not you're going to be able to make an overtake. So, you know, it's a tough track. It's not for everybody. It isn't for me. Phil says Zach was very lucky last week, but not this week.
So no. Can we just let's touch on this, right? So whenever I do well, it's luck. But when James does well, he's Jesus.
Yes. I don't see what the problem is.
Is that just the hierarchy of the business I've got to get used to now?
Yeah, I don't really see what the
problem is. Is that how the real world works?
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome, fantastic.
As you will know.
Life lesson. Nice, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
cool.
you'll find that out soon enough, mate. It'll be fine. You know, as we know in the world that we live in and we deal with, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And, you know, Phil knows me, and it's just one of them things. You'll just have to put up with it, unfortunately, on that one. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say to you apart from that, really. But, you know, we have started qualifying. We are on our fast laps. We are on board with Pete Van Gaal, who unfortunately has run a little bit wide and probably will get an off track for that one on his first lap. So the times will come in thick and fast. We'll give them a minute to settle down before we run you through the order here as well, because obviously, you know, they do come in very quick. So we could spout who's on pole and then somebody will change on it as well. So we'll give it a lap or so to settle down, and let's see who can come out on top. Now, it's been an interesting season for Pete Newman. You know, it's been a tough season for Pete at the end of the day. You know, he's had 8 podiums, he's won 5 times, he's had 21 top 10s, 22 top 20s, and yet still not leading the championship, which, I don't know.
Nowhere near.
No, and it just confuses me. And I'm wondering if the 8 DNFs this season has probably not helped him.
Yeah, that's probably not a great way to move forward. Also, the fact that he's only started 30 of the races this season as opposed to the maximum of 36. Led the way, obviously, by the top 6 in the championship, which, you know, would help. They do get a couple of drop weeks as well, which, again, would help. But Pete Newman being, you know, nearly, what was that? Yeah, pretty much 300 points off the championship lead. Not telling at all of the driver that we see from Pete Newman. I mean, towards the tail end of the spring season of the MX5s, he was one of the favourites. So therefore, coming into season 2, you'd think, hang on, surely he's going to be a championship contender.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, like we saw last week, I think really, I mean, it's been Pete Newman really quick and then gets bad luck or spins out or someone crashes into him or gets collected in an incident. And yes, some of it may be his fault, but a lot of it hasn't been. A lot of it has been bad luck, which is a shame for Pete Newman. But the fact that he has still got tied the 3rd best win count of the season is definitely not a bad thing at all. He's had a good season. It just might not be to his standard.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the tough things to obviously look at. You know, he's topping the screens now on the timing tower on the left-hand side now on a 156.759. He's going purple again. He's quicker again, and he generally comes out on winning the first race that we can guarantee he's going to be there or thereabouts. You know, last week in Watkins Glen was a prime example. We had an incident in race 1. Didn't get on the podium in race 2 because he had another incident in race 2. He won race 3 and then finished 2nd in race 4. And that just basically sums up his season, really, doesn't it? From race to race, from round to round. 2 good races, 2 terrible races, and then you never really know what you're going to end up getting because it's so hit and miss, it's so on and off. We just can't guarantee that Pete is going to be taking the win every single week, which, to be honest with you, Zach, as well, with his top 8 reverse, he probably should do because he has got pace. He is an outstanding driver. He's just had some rotten bad luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've hit the nail on the head there because he is just so undeniably quick. And that, I mean, at the moment, he's set the benchmark of pole by half a second, right? That is all you need to know. And it's a 2-minute lap as well, which, you know, it's not the longest in the world, it's not the shortest in the world. So I'd say half a second is a very respectable margin, considering behind Ewan Brame and Miles Owens about 10th and a half. Dan Hunt 200ths of a second back. So there's obviously competitiveness amongst the rest of the championship contenders. And then Pete Newman just blows it out of the water and gets to a low, a 56 dead essentially. He probably will be one of the first into the 55s as well. I'm absolutely sure of it. So Pete Newman, again, proving how quick he is, but let's not toot his horn too much, because what we do have is a fantastic championship fight. Of course, between our top two, we've got Tom Griffiths and Jamie Ayres, separated by just 11 points. And in a point system where it's 60 for a win, and you've got 4 races in a night, 11 points is niche.
And you know the interesting thing, just quickly touching on as well, we were talking about Pete Newman last week at Watkins 2-2. Did you know in her ref, he had the same thing? Race 1, he went out in one. Race 2, he had an incident, didn't finish on the podium. Race 3, he had an incident, didn't finish on the podium. Race 4, he went out and finished in second. It just sums up, how undeniably quick Pete Newman is here as well. But as you say, the championship fight at the moment, Tom Griffiths sitting there as well at the top. He hasn't got a time on the board as of yet. Craig Jones, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining us. My heart bleeds for Pete Newman, but he's really slow in a Clio. Double pro champion over the last 2 seasons. Probably not as slow as you'd think. However, there was one man who did go out and win the AMs in the first season and then literally bombed when he got promoted into the pros, Craig Jones. I don't know if you know him or are aware of this young gentleman here as well. Jason Allington is taking the lead in the AMs at the moment on a 201, Littler 201, Toon 204, Barry 204 as well. Darrell Wright, who is currently, sitting at the top of the standings, hasn't got a time on the board at the moment. He is sporting a new livery, so that's going to confuse us a little bit, because he's now in the Results Clothing livery, when last time out he was in the Safeguard by Results Clothing team as well. So if there has been a team swap there, if anybody from Results can let me know on that one, that would be absolutely amazing. But at the moment we've got Pure Sims, SOB, DOF and SOB. So SOB rocking hard this week.
Yeah, but to be fair, SOB are always up there. Ewan Bremer, Marzo and Sean Sylvester always within sort of at least the top train. I mean, a week ago, we were looking at trains of 6-7 cars. To be fair, that's been the norm for the majority of the season. You've usually got at least 2 of the SOB cars up there. So they're always there, always pushing hard, which, very respectable and fair play to them. But collectively, they've only got 4 wins, which is quite astonishing to me. I mean, podium-wise, obviously, they've got a few more than that. Obviously, John Sylvester's got 14, and then Ewan Brame and Miles Owens make it a 28 count for the team, which is quite good, really good, shows their consistency. But unfortunately, they just need that little bit more, that little bit to just put them over the edge relative to everyone else, and I'm sure they'll score some huge points. But yeah, it's always seemed to be SOB versus Momo at the front of the field, which we do love to see, of course, and hoping for more of that for the rest of this season, hopefully more of that here today. But I'd say the biggest thing for SOB, their biggest enemy is themselves. How many times have Ewan Bramer and Miles Owens tripped each other up? And I'm not saying, obviously, to try and cause drama, sort of a drive to survive type of thing. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that the amount of results they could have gotten had they just worked together, they could be in a bit of a better position right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Darrell is Ralph in disguise. Check his paintwork out. We have checked out Darrell Wright's paintwork, and we have seen a difference there as well. So, but has he swapped teams? That's the question. Young Mr. Jones, has he swapped teams? But at the moment, Tom Griffiths here, Zach, is really struggling because he hasn't got time on the board, and still hasn't got time on the board with just over 4 minutes remaining. A little bit worrying for Mr. Griffiths.
Yeah, I was about to touch on that actually, because as a driver, you want to be able to put in a bit of a bank lap time, something to alleviate the pressure, especially in that first 4 or 5 minutes of the session. Get a lap time down, right? Just so you can breathe and say, right, it's cool. It might only be good enough for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever. But you've got something on the table. You've got something to play with. Something you can see, something you can base yourself off. And then you go for your second lap. Then you go a little bit quicker. I mean, he's done that and he's gone 11th, which is 2.5 seconds off the pace. So very clearly not what Tom Griffiths would want to do. But then you go for your second lap and you push a bit more. You say, okay, broke a little bit early for turn 4. I'm gonna push it a little bit more this time. And then into turn 5, you accelerate a little bit quicker. And you're like, oh, brilliant, I've gained half a second. Then, you've got your second bank lap time. And it's like, awesome, sweet. This is a decent time. Absolutely go for it on my third lap. And that's what the likes of Pete Newman, Ewan Bramer have done. Because what it does is having that bank lap time, it just takes away all the pressure because you've got something good to fall back on, knowing that you can just absolutely go for it on that final lap because you don't really care if it pays off or not, because regardless of the situation, you're going to be in a decent position anyway. I think that's a luxury that Tom Griffiths is missing out on because of that slow start.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the line that driver's taken into turn 1 there. All 4 wheels over the white line currently at the moment. And they're probably not registering an off-track. It's really quite bizarre on that straight. Now, if you run wide out the final corner, you get an off-track. If you go to the right too quickly, you also got an off-track. But if you go to the right at the right point and stick all 4 wheels over the white line, nothing happens. It's so bizarre, the track limit situation here at Magny Cours. But Tom Griffiths is getting some greens on the board as he's heading down into turn 14 at the moment, before he's on that run down through into 15. Who do you think then we come to that part of the evening where we look at who's going to be your race 1 winner? I'm going to give you the first choice, but I have a funny feeling I know who you're going to be going for.
Sir Alan Toon, obviously, no.
No, you tried that once before and it went wrong.
I did. It did not work, and I'm not risking it with 1 point in the championship. See, the obvious answer here is Pete Newman, right? And that's the elephant in the room. He's 7 tenths up on the pole time. But I'm going to go with Daniel Hunt. Just to get away from the cliche and so James doesn't have any excuses. But also just because I've got faith in Daniel Hunt. Get him in a race situation, no matter what his qualifying time is, Daniel Hunt will perform. So I'm going with the reigning champ.
Okay, well, I'm going for the cliche.
All right,
I'm sorry.
that's fair enough.
He's out in front by 7 tenths. I'll go for Pete Newman here in race 1. So Pete Newman for the win, says Craig Jones. Yeah, I've got a funny feeling you could be right. 1 minute on the clock here. Tom Griffiths is still finding himself down in 12th place at the moment. I think Andy Littler is stuck in the gravel. He is, unfortunately for him. Everybody else is kind of retired back to the pits. What is Griffiths going to be able to do? He's a long way out. He might be green, but he definitely is not going to be able to. I'd be very surprised if he finishes this lap. I actually cannot see that from where he is at the moment, going around turn 9, 180-degree turn, that he's actually going to finish this lap in the next 30 seconds. No, it's definitely not going to happen on that one there as well. So Tom Griffiths might have to settle for 12th here, Zach. Going to be a little bit more damaging for him.
It's going to be tough. I mean, again, he'll probably learn as the race progresses and as the sessions progress. Ideally, he just wants to be in the top 8, because at least then he can kickstart his evening with a pole position. If you're going to write off race 1 or, spin in qualifying. But yeah, write off race 1, just get yourself into top 8, get yourself on the reverse grid pole and go again. But we've got 15 minutes to race 1 first.
Yeah, here we go. Pete Newman is on pole position with Jamie Ayres, but alongside him on row 1. On the next row, you've got Pete Van Gaal and John Sylvester. On row 3, Dan Hunt and Ewan Bramer. Row 4, Miles Owen, Steve Hefford. Row 5, Charles Kellerman and Ralph Cullinan. Then you've got Darryl Wright. And then Tom Griffiths in 12th. Then you've got Mick Barry, Jason Hannington, Andy Littler, Sir Alan Toon and Dale Benison. We've got that mix of pro and ams here, Zach, as well. The only one that's kind of out of position is Tom Griffiths at the moment. Before, we would have had that even spread of pro and ams. Going to be tough for Griffiths, but he's got to aim for top 8 to get the pole for race 2.
Yeah, he's got to. I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult, but if anything goes wrong, Griffiths has got such a hard job ahead of him if he wants to come out on top. And yeah, especially with such an important race today, with him, trying to keep the lead ahead of Ayres. Yeah, pressure is on after that poor qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. We just wait for Pete Newman to get on to the grid before we can get this race underway, and he is there now, and we are going to be up and running here at Magny Cours for round 10. Race 1, lights are out, and we're away we go. Newman got a stellar start there. Jamie Ayres did not get off the line well as they come rushing down into turn 1. You can see we've got Pure Sims, Momo, and then we're running with DOF on Dan Hunt. He's up 1 place with John Sylvester sat in 5th there at the but it is Pete Newman that leads us away on that run through turn 3 and off down into 4. Everybody got away cleanly there. Griffiths up 1 place into 11th.
Yeah, good little start then from Griffiths. He makes up the rear end of the pro field, but he's got to move his way a couple more places forward in order to really get himself into contention tonight. Side by side for the lead as Jamie Ayres tries to pick his way past Pete Newman. He's onto the left-hand side of the circuit, late on the brakes as we run our way into turn number 5. Daniel Hunt under threat from losing a place as well from Ewan Bramer, who goes wide, and Miles Owens tries to pick his way through. John Sylvester in the mix as well. Dan Hunt now really not with the best of starts.
No, definitely not, and he's under pressure from Sylvester with Ewan Bramer right behind him once more as we go into this 180-degree turn of turn 9. You can see Sylvester, there's contact there with Hunt. Sylvester's trying to run him around the inside of that turn 9. Through 10 they go. Then they're going to be on that run down into 11. What's going to happen here? What is Bramer going to do? There's been an incident with Mick Barry and Tom Griffiths. It looked like Griffiths might have held on. Oh, Hunt's off. Hunt is off the track in an unceremonious fashion there, which seemed to me very bizarre. But was there contact with Sylvester? Oh, he come over on him. Closed the door on him there, Zach. And did Sylvester have anywhere to go?
I don't know. Obviously, it's the early laps and things like that, and adrenaline's rushing and things. Racing incident, I suppose. I mean, it's difficult in that position. That is wide. That might be, is that Charles Kellerman going wide? Yeah. I think it is. Ralph Cullinan. Why are these two always together on circuit? Ralph Cullinan finds his way past, and Darrell Wright gets himself nicely into the mix. Tom Griffiths falling backwards a couple of places as well. Down now to 11th, of course. And Darrell Wright having a sensational run of form and, well, making the most into P9. Also, we haven't got Arnaud Chagnon, which I'd say effectively hands the AM Championship to Darrell Wright. Also up here, we've got 5 for second. PVG moves his way into second. Yeah,
over Jamie Ayres. He's just gone past Ayres there as well. You can see Ayres right just had his nose chopped off by PVG. He's tucked up now as well. He's run a little bit wide coming out of turn 5, and off we go on that run through 6, 7, 8 and into that 180-degree turn of turn 9. PVG still tucked up there in second place with Newman now opening up 8 tenths at the moment, running away, slowly extending his gap. But then we've got John Sylvester with Ewan Bramer and Miles Owens and Steve Hefford, and then Darrell Wright has got Ralph Cullinan and they're at it again, Cullinan and Kellerman together here as well. It seems like Cullinan and Kellerman are stuck together throughout this season and have been for the last couple of rounds here, Zach. It just gets the whole tongue twister.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, if they stay together, they won't get much airtime because our tongues cannot handle that. But they're giving us a good fight, which is what we love to see. Cullinan and Kellerman, unless we go for Charles and Ralph, that's more doable. That's doable. That's or we go for the 32 and the 67. That's wide. Who was that? That was Miles Owens. He's got a slowdown. He's lost a couple of places. Maybe Charles Kellerman looks to the outside. It'll quickly give him the inside for the next corner as well. Miles Owens, an absolute stinker of a recent couple of corners.
Yeah, definitely lost a lot of time there. Jamie Ayres has passed PVG, and PVG has now got Sylvester up right behind him at the moment. In the Battle of the Arms, Tom Griffiths has just passed Miles Owens as well. Griffiths is now in 10th. He's got to get in that top 8 to get that pole. We have said how important it is for Tom Griffiths to start on the front row of the grid for race 2. He doesn't want to lose any more points than he will do in race 1 over Jamie Ayres. He's got to try and get past. Is Cullinan going to be able to take the inside line over Wright here? I think Wright's just kind of conceded that position and sees Kellerman all the way to the right-hand side. Darrell Wright literally just giving it up the easiest pie. He might defend a little bit from Charles Kellerman behind him, but that was very, very easy for Cullinan there. Zach Wright didn't really put up much.
Yeah, not really much of a fight, which is fair enough. I mean, again, Arnaud Chagnon isn't here. Darrell Wright just needs to get some decent points and secure a place. I mean, he's still winning the AMs, of course, yes, 7th, 8th. It will deduct him a couple of points, but he's still doing a really good job and mixing it up very well. I mean, I would definitely say Darrell Wright is quicker than Tom Griffiths, who, by the way, is the Pro Championship leader on pure merit today.
I would say, I would say that as well. PPG and Sylvester are now coming close together with Eamon Bramer tucked up behind them here as well. PPG, I don't know with PPG. He's sitting 4th in the championship. He's down 1 from last week over John Sylvester. John Sylvester managed to get through, but it is always tough with PVG. He's another man that can have absolute barnstorming races, and then he can have another man that can literally have the most horriblest evening ever. Again, it's a Pete Newman scenario. Ayres just gone and done the fastest lap. Sylvester's just taken that straight back off him on the 156.197 here as well. I think PVG's issue is mental. I think he's got to be a little bit more confident in his ability. He does get tangled up in silly things that aren't always his fault, mind you. It's, from the Dutchman's point of view here, Zach, it's not always generally PVG's fault, is it? So he's got to be a little bit more mindful. He's had a bit of a rough season.
He has. I mean, recently, I will say, he's had a good run of form. But I think similar to a couple of people, the ones that aren't necessarily in the championship fight, the PVGs, the Ewan Bramers, the Miles Owens, it's been a roller coaster. It's either we see the best version of them or we see the worst version of them, and there's no real in between. I think right now what we're seeing is one of the best versions of PVG, and over the course of the last couple of weeks we have seen that. I mean, the man's got 6 wins, which is the second most of anyone, right? Yeah. That's not something to ignore. He is a fast driver, but yeah, I think you're right in the sense that it's either the highest of highs or the lowest of lows.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the struggles with PVG that he has got to try and overcome really here as well. He's another man that's got to try and consistently be consistent. I think consistently inconsistent is not always the best way, and I should really kind of rephrase that, because I did get myself in trouble the other week with a driver who messaged me saying, you call me inconsistent or consistently inconsistent, and they weren't too happy. But I get what I'm trying to say here. I think with PVG, it just great, terrible, and there doesn't seem to be an in between. He's had some bad luck as well, computer, whatever else, and all that, and it's tough. But I think from a driver's point of view, it's been not a bad season, but one he would definitely look back and try to improve next season. Now you can see back here from Kellerman and Cullinan, who are still at it here in race 1 as well, with 6.5 minutes remaining here. Zach on lap 5. Ralph Cullinan, I don't know, this season with him it has been a bit of an up and down one, I think, for Ralph as well. Charles Kellerman not been too bad, been probably round about where he thinks he should be, but they're always together, and that's one of the things in this. You've always got somebody to battle in this series. Yeah.
And that's what I love about it so much. Ralph Cullinan looks to the outside as they head under the brakes into the hairpin. Charles Kellerman able to hang on to it. Of course, they've got Darrell Wright for company in the background as well. A decent run from the Irishman. Might well see him take to the inside, but Kellerman's got it covered as they run their way in towards the next braking zone. And there we go. There is a bit of overlap, bit of contact as well for good measure. These two rivals going toe-to-toe into the next braking zone, and it is covered off from Charles Kellerman. But yeah, because of the wide variety of paces and things, you've always got someone to battle. And these two are the perfect proof of that right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Kellerman run a little bit wide, managed to get the power on early through turn 9 and manages to get the job and hold that position from Cullen as they start heading down now through turn 12. That right-hander, then they're going to come left through 13 and that left up into 14. It's really weird corner because you start turning left and then you've actually got to go right once you start hitting the brakes as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on these two and see as much as they've been up to and how they've been getting on. Jamie Ayres has opened up a bit of a gap to this man, John Sylvester, who has cleared PVG, and that should kind of cement Sylvester's position at the moment in the championship here, sitting in third place, because the more points he takes out of PVG, the less challenge he's going to have. But from Iwan Bramer's point of view, he's got to be looking to try and challenge PVG as well. The door's closing, he's keeping his foot in, he's opened it up. They're going to be running side by side now, all that run down this Gulf straight, round the right-hander and then down into turn 5 of Adelaide. Bramer's going to have that inside line. I think PVG's got to concede it here, Zach. I don't see any shadow of a doubt how PVG's going to be able to hang that round the outside.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but instead he's going to go for the up and under. Look at that, later apex, straighter car, and he's put his foot down and worked his way back alongside. It's a civil war in the Netherlands. As PVG and Iwan Bramer go toe-to-toe once more in towards the Nürburgring corner. This quick flick to the right and then into the very accurately named 180-degree corner, of which Iwan Bramer looks to go to the inside. PVG gives him the space, drifting wide a little bit. The Flying Dutchman, of course, in the white and black SOB car. Bit of a slide on the exit, and once again, PVG going to chuck the car back to the inside.
Yeah, fighting side by side now. Off they go on that run down from 11 into 12 at the moment. PVG's going to have the inside for Imola, the right. And Bramer's run it round the outside. Kept his foot in, was brave as a lion there, Zach, and literally hung on to that position. That was great for Iwan Bramer because PVG had that inside. He could have quite easily have had that position away from him.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff from Iwan Bramer. I don't think it's a done deal yet. I think PVG is going to have an answer to that. I don't think his pride is going to allow that to happen. A fantastic move, it must be said. The battle's won, but the war is far from over. And, well, all of our questions will be answered in around about 3.5 minutes' time. A poor run out of the final chicane for Iwan Bramer. Sees PVG pull alongside, or has he?
Got to
slow down, I think.
Yep.
Too eager to put his foot down.
Yep, slow down too much coming out that final chicane of 16 and 17, and now he has dropped back a little bit more. One man that has been gaining positions here is Mr. Ayres. He has been taking out time over PVG over the last few laps. You can see it there. Newman was 1.3 seconds quicker on lap 2, and then Ayres is just coming back. He pulled out 2 tenths, half a second, lost a little bit on lap 5, and then pulls out half a second. So then 1.2 gone for Newman now, and now he's going to be struggling because Jamie Ayres is going to get alongside him here, and now these two gladiators, these two leaders battling it out, nothing between them. How is Ayres? Is he going to be able to hang on here? He does. He takes the lead away from Pete Newman, and now once more again Newman's got to do it again. This is what we mean. He had terrific pace. He should have been able to get this done, get this out front, and just run away with it, but he just hasn't once more, and unfortunately for Pete Newman, finds himself behind Jamie Ayres there, Zach. It's so confusing.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Ayres was, what, about half a second back in qualifying, give or take? Yeah. And yet in the race, he's stuck with Newman, and he's being consistent, and he's put the pressure on. Pete Newman's quick, arguably maybe quicker on one lap, but Jamie Ayres has been fast lap after lap. He's even got the quickest lap time of the race, a 56.0. Granted, maybe with slipstream or whatever, but that's matching what was being done in qualifying from Pete Newman. That is so undeniably fast from Jamie Ayres. He's just risen to the occasion for the race, which is exactly what he needed to do. He put a good enough time in qualifying, so much so that he was on the front row, and arguably maybe his only battle was with Pete Newman in the opening stages. And yes, he was behind, but he was there. And now all he's had to do is deliver in the race, which is exactly what Jamie Ayres does best. And on a day where Tom Griffiths is down in P11, Jamie Ayres is scoring some good old points.
Yeah, it definitely is. Newman's not giving him up, though. They go running out of free there. No, Newman closed the gap. Ayres on the defensive already. There's a gap there if Newman wants to use it. He's not going to use it. He's trying to carry that overspeed round the outside of turn 5. If he makes this work, he will be the only one we've seen who has successfully gone round the outside of 5. He's keeping his foot in. He's got his car alongside. Ayres straightens it up. Once more, Newman's coming back on the inside, out the exit of 5. Through they go, up into turn 6 now, and then they're going to have the right-hander of the Nürburgring there as well, the right flick, and then the left. They're going to go too wide. They've taken each other.
Oh!
Oh,
On the last lap.
done it as well. Oh, you cannot write this in this league at all.
Newman's out.
Newman is DNFing here as well. Hunt is looking like he's DNF. So both of the people we had, Zach, is not working out for either of us. Hunt come back out of the pits and went back in there as well. They've both taken each other out. They did not give up this room, did they? Newman was alongside. Ayres went in, hit the curb.
Oh, over the curb.
Yeah, over the sausage curb and into Newman he went. He launched that car over that sausage curb and into Newman he went. Now, literally, that's going to leave this man, John Sylvester, going to come across the line and take the victory in race 1 with his teammate Ewan Bramer in 3rd, PVG in 4th, Steve Hefford in 5th. What's happening with Kellerman and Cullinan? It's looking like Kellerman is going to go ahead of Cullinan this time around as well. So Charles Kellerman comes over the line in 6th with Ralph Cullinan 7th, Owens and Griffith misses out by 1 point. 1 spot.
Less than half a second as well.
Oh.
That's tough.
Tough run here, and I cannot believe that last lap has happened in turn 7 and 8. I just cannot fathom how that happened.
In the nicest way possible to Pete Newman. Thank you, Jamie Ayres. But what I will say is that is not the way we wanted to see that battle end. But again, it was a very small mistake. It was a marginal thing. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't. Well, it was obviously over the limit, but it wasn't him pushing it overly hard. It was just him turning a bit too early over the sausage curb, unsettling the car, and going into each other. And that's what happens at this level, especially for the race lead. Obviously, it is Jamie Ayres' fault. He's responsible for the car and things. But it wasn't out of malice. It wasn't him deliberately trying to take Pete Newman out or anything like that. It's just one of those things that happen when the stakes are that high. And unfortunately, it was Pete Newman that suffered worse from it. Tom Griffith's going to be happy, though. I mean, if Jamie Ayres isn't going to win, you know, he might as well be sort of P5 or whatever. Tom Griffiths would have taken that over Jamie Ayres taking the win. So I suppose there's a couple of positives to take, but for Ayres and Newman, it's exclusively negatives.
Absolutely. John Sylvester takes the win with Ewan Bramer, with Pete Van Gaal in 3rd, Steve Hefford 4th, Jamie Ayres 5th, Charles Kellerman 6th, Ralph Cullinan 7th, Miles Owens in 8th. Owens will be on pole for race 2. Griffiths missed out on that pole he so badly needed in 9th, with Darrell Wright 10th, Jason Haddington 11th. There, and Dale Bennison wraps out the AMS 1, 2, 3. McBarry in 13th, Andy Littler 14th, Newman, Toon and Hunt there as well. Newman did come back out onto the pit, so he did finish down in 15th. So I do get some points while you had a DNF.
Yeah. Which I'll take because I'd rather you have some points than you have 60 points.
Yeah. Well,
so I can live with that.
Well,
I'll take it.
I can definitely have, yeah, I'll take some. So there we go. Right, brief little warm-up before we go into race 2. Top 8 reverse, Zach Sweeney. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Jamie Ayres for this one. Finish P5 will be in the mid pack, will be very quick, and will be eager to win. So yeah, Jamie Ayres. Jamie Ayres is coming back for it.
Okay, Jamie Ayres. Yes, maybe. Do you know what? I'm going to go with John Sylvester. Struck a bit of luck in race one. So hopefully he might be able to do it in 3. That chicane shot is awesome. Wow, he had to go for it. He did have to go for it, but he hit that sausage curb and unfortunately sprung the car up into the air for Jamie Ayres and straight into the side of Pete Newman. So, you know, always a difficult scenario there as well, from how he had to go for it to actually going for it. And he went for it and it didn't quite work out, did it really? But there you go. I'm sure he'll learn for that from race 2.
He will. He'll take it back. He'll think about it, and he'll say, right, yeah, cool. Let's not make that same mistake again, because that's the driver he is, right? He's got that champion mentality. He's not going to be like, oh, you know what? I've just thrown away a win, and I'm so angry, and I'm going to throw everything at this race to prove how good I am. He's going to be like, all right, it's happened. It happens. You know, it's whatever, right? I'm sure in the moment there was some very choice words said, but now he's just going to be like, cool down. This is literally the opposite of a warm-up. He's going to cool down. He's going to walk away, have a drink, breathe, come back. Cool. How do I win this race? And that is what I think he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, it's interesting there from Craig. I've just read in chat. I would have made that move at no contact.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Craig wouldn't have been in the race this far on anyway. I'm sure he probably would have crashed out first corner, first lap, to be honest. So from Craig's point of view, yeah, you know, take it with a pinch of salt and, you know, just touch it a little bit, I think, as well on that one. So, yeah, do love you really, Craig, but I doubt you would have been in a position to be making that move. But race 2 is going to be interesting. We're going to have Newman coming from the field through the back. We're going to have Ayres, who you've said has settled in. I think he's 7th, I think he was in the end of that. As well. So, if nothing else, we could see a stellar race from Pete Newman here.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he is one of those drivers, again, that even though he's been given some bad luck, he will fight his way back to the front. And he knows that, obviously, points aside and whatever, this race doesn't really matter as such because the grid for race 3 is randomized. So he doesn't really care where he finishes. It's not like, oh, I've got to get in the top 8 or my evening's ruined. It's see how you go, climb as many places as you can, use the pace that you know you've got because you were half a second quicker in qualifying and led a good part of race 1, and just see where you get to. Because I suppose that's the driver that Pete Newman is, and also he's not really fighting for anything in the championship unless he's fussed about a maybe a top 5 he might be able to get if he's lucky. I'm sure he's not overly fussed. So just go for it, see if you can get a win.
Yeah, definitely. Right here is the grid for race 2. Miles Owens will be on pole with Ralph Cullen in 2nd, Charles Kellerman 3rd, Jamie Ayres 4th, Steve Hefford 5th, Pete Van Gaal in 6th, Ewan Bramer 7th, and John Sylvester in 8th. Then we've got Tom Griffiths. Then we break into the arms of Darrell Wright, Jason Hannington, and Dale Bennison, Mick Barry, and Andy Littler. There in 15th is the man who's gonna get positions here as well, Pete Newman. Then you've got Alan Toon. And then you've also got Dan Hunt. And if you ever don't want 2 people behind you, Zach, it's probably Dan Hunt and Pete Newman, right? Because you can guarantee they're going to come through on you at some point and it's going to be a job done. But for Miles Owens, he's got to concentrate at the moment about getting that car off the line as we just wait for Daniel Hunt.
Yeah, plenty of pressure on the shoulders of Miles Owens. Again, only taken 1 victory so far this season. We'd like to double that and make it 2, but it's a long road ahead. It's 15 minutes of race 2, and, well, here we go.
Lights are coming on. Here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. And once more, we are up and running. Owens got a flying start there. He managed to make that move and got the car off the line as he goes down into turn one. Jamie Ayres is already up one. Sent it on the inside of Ralph Cullinan. Cullinan must have had some form of issue because he's gone down 2 positions already to Steve Hefford and Jamie Ayres at the moment. Further back, John Sylvester's down 1 with Tom Griffiths moving up 1 position. Newman is now up 2, going for his 3rd by the time he gets to the end of the straight. But more importantly, Miles Owens got the run off the line, got the jump out in front there, Zach, and is currently leading us away as they go down into turn 5 for the first time.
Yeah, and now inside line, of course. Oh, and a huge crash in the background. Who's that involved? Ewan Bramer, I think, stumbled down a couple of places. No, he's been able to benefit from it. It's Charles Kellerman and PVG that have taken each other out, and that is huge for this race. And well, just goes to show what exactly we were talking about PVG in race 1.
Absolutely, and now he's done what we said he did, and that is unfortunately have an incident in race 2. So we're going to find out how the PVG, whether or not he can recover or whether or not he is out at the moment. Looks like Dan Hunt's gained a few positions. He's up 4 at the moment. Dale Bennison is unfortunately dropping down the order here and has lost another place. Pete Newman's up 6 and sitting in 9th. Miles Owens is under attack from the Irishman Ralph Cullinan. Hopefully we'll see it here as well. Cullinan, slight little contact on the back end of Owens as they go down into 14. Ayres is sitting there. Cullinan's going to try and run there around the outside of 14 at the moment. He's side by side. They are going down now, right tucked up beside each other, and we're going to be able to see how that one looks from the JPB chopper there as well. It looks like Sir Alan Toon's been off track. Miles Owens is going to take back that inside. He runs Ralph Cullinan on out wide. Cullinan takes the nose off Jamie Ayres, but that was a great little battle from them two over the last half a lap.
It has been indeed. Great respect given, of course. And well,
off.
Dan Hunt's off, and he's slid across the track. Oh my goodness me, how he hasn't hit anyone, I have absolutely no idea. Absolute carnage, absolute chaos in the opening laps. How has he done it? Over the curb, understeer. Too much speed. Oh, and he's not actually hit anything. He's still perfectly fine car-wise.
Well, unfortunately for Dan Hunt, that is, he's jumped straight back into the pits there. Cullinan's going once more. Owens down into 5 now. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8 cars all involved in this one. And now Owens and Cullinan are kind of the corks in the bottle, but their battling is bringing up literally half of the field. And I say half because it is half of the field into this fight. Cullinan again pressurizing Owens. Ayres is pressurizing Cullinan. Is this going to be Ralph Cullinan's day where he's going to take a victory here as well? He goes into turn 9, round 180. Owens lets the car drift a little bit wide. Cullinan keeps it a little bit more tighter. Ayres, Griffiths, Hefford, Bramer, Sylvester and Newman. And one man at the back of the pack I wouldn't want behind me at the moment is Pete Newman, because he is looking quick. He is up 7 places already and we're only on lap 2.
Yeah, he is flying. He's a man on a mission. He's in the slipstream. He's involved with this training for the lead as well, which is so crucial. Look at how much later he is on the brakes compared to John Sylvester. And now eyeing up the moves, trying to pick his way through one by one. And if I was anyone in front of this, I'd be thinking, yeah, boys, we need to start thinking about this race, because I'm sure they weren't expecting Pete Newman to be here this quickly.
Yeah, definitely not. And that's one of the things these guys are going to have to sit back and decide. Are they going to decide now what is going on up front with Cullinan and Ayres? Cullinan and Ayres were running side by side through turn 16 and 17. Griffiths is on the right-hand side. He's trying to get in behind Steve Hefford. That's allowed Miles Owens to open up 1.2 seconds. Newman is running side by side with Sylvester. He's going to try and run the outside line of 3 here with Griffiths in front of him and the other SOB of Ewan Bramer right there as well. They're going to be picking up toes. Newman's on the gravel. Hold it. He does manage to hold it. Newman there literally managing to hold that off the gravel there, Zach, but that could have been a lot worse for Pete Newman. And now Sylvester's got Ewan Bramer and Tom Griffiths in front of him, and there's just, he's got to decide what he's going to do here for Sylvester.
Yeah. he is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Overtake your teammate or be overtaken by your rival. John Sylvester obviously trying to replicate his success of race 1. Jamie Ayres trying to redeem himself for the lack of success in race 1. He jumps himself over the curb. He's not made contact this time around. Ralph Cullinan, though, giving him a fantastic fight. It's once again the outside line. There's more contact. Cullinan, he's to him. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my word. And Jamie Ayres has been taken off. Wow.
The problem there is the initial contact sent Cullinan onto the grass, and he was never, ever in a month of Sundays going to stop that car. You see, as they come down, it goes over the curb, then all of a sudden, Jamie Ayres here that makes contact with Cullinan there. Cullinan's on the grass. He's got nowhere to go apart from into the side of Jamie Ayres. And that has put Pete Newman up into 6th place at the moment as well. And it's looking like Ayres and Cullinan are back together once more here. Pick a blame if you want. I don't really know where to put that one.
It's got to be Cullinan, surely.
Has it, though?
Was he forced onto the grass?
Well, there was contact that put him on there.
Yeah, but whose fault was the initial contact? Did Jamie Ayres be left-hand down him? Did he purposefully go into the side of Ralph Cullinan? Was there any thought of that? However, we'll get back to that in just a second because we've got a brilliant fight forming here. Tom Griffiths has put himself into a podium position despite his lack of pace today. He's now fighting with Ewan Bramer, John Sylvester, Pete Newman as well, trying to pick his way through. We go 2 wide, 2 deep. Bramer, of course, on the inside. It's then John Sylvester trying to go around the outside of Pete Newman and getting the up and under, actually, is Newman. He works his way up now into 5th place, up 10 places in the opening 7 minutes of this race.
Yeah, and we've also got Jason Addington and Pete Van Gool all swapping places further down here as well. Darrell Wright's just got run onto the grass from Mick Barry. Mick Barry not giving him an inch of room there. And these guys fighting their way out further down as well for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th in the AM class. This is, of course, Jason Addington, Mick Barry here as well with Dale Benison behind that, scrapping out. Up front, these 5 are still swapping positions. Tom Griffiths, Steve Hefford, Ewan Bramer, Pete Newman and John Sylvester currently at the moment. And for you, young Zachary, Jamie Ayres is down into 7th as he's running side by side, Newman at the moment with Ewan Bramer, and not an inch of room given there.
Yeah, well, look at how hard they're fighting and look how quickly potentially Jamie Ayres could close his way back into the mix. We've still got half of this race left to go, let's not forget. A little bit wide from Tom Griffiths, but doesn't leave him susceptible to any attack. Through now, chucking their way over the final chicane. Again, the commitment that you can take in these MX5s, because obviously they're more cup car based, softer suspension relative to single seaters and things. They can take a big old hit when it comes to curbs here at Magny Cours, and that's in full swing here today, using as much of the track as they possibly can to make the most of each and every single apex, and that is proved by this fight for 3rd. Tom Griffiths giving everything because he knows how much this P3 would mean to his result today.
Oh, absolutely. With Ayres down in 7th, 3 seconds behind this John Sylvester here. Griffith needs to be able to take as many points as he can to make up for that race 1. The problem is he's got Ewan Bramer trying to run around the outside of 5. Sylvester's trying to follow Bramer. There's contact in front. Newman then gets past Bramer and is now going after Griffiths here as well. So is Newman going to be able to get Griffiths going down into that final into turn 9 and run around 180 on the inside? He's not going to be able to get through this time around his hack, but boy oh boy is this Newman's opportunity to come through the field. He's up 11 already, and unfortunately he's doing an absolute, well, unfortunately for everybody else I should say, he's doing a fantastic, I was going to say stellar job there as well.
Fantastic.
Spantastic.
The spantabby-tastic. Boom, new word. Look at us go. Fantastic.
Spantastic. Let's just make it up as we go along. Craig, stop. Suck it up to Zach Sweeney. All right, he doesn't need it. The young man's got a big head as it already is.
But what?
You know what I mean? Zach, Craig coming in with some nice advice, and then you apologising to him. It's like we've got a bromance going on in YouTube chat here.
I'm 17, James. Hang on.
Well, hey, never say never. Thijs Van Gaal, hello. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us there, bud. Hope you are well there as well. Zach, the Sweeney slander. Come on.
Yeah, boom.
Oh, Newman.
That's the name for it. Oh, he's thought about it as well. He's actually gone for it. It's actually worked. He's worked his way into third place. Pete Newman now's on the outside. There's contact. Griffiths is sideways. He's lost 2 places. Make that 3, obviously, plus the 1 from Pete Newman. He's rejoined the circuit. Oh, looked cool until it didn't.
Yeah, definitely there. Sylvester's got to make a decision now. Is he going to go and pass Bramer down into turn 5? Bramer's picking up the draft from Newman. Sylvester's got to decide what he's going to do here. He's either going to go for it or he's not going to go for it. He's not going to go for it this time around. They've got 4.5 minutes. We've got about 2 laps remaining here as well. Steve Hefford is in front with Miles Owens. I would not have put Owens running away after race 1. I've got to be honest. To finish in that 8th place, take pole, go checkered to green to checkered would be an incredible job for Miles Owens. But at the moment, Sylvester's got to decide what he's got to do here, Zach. He can't let these guys fight out and lose any more time to the likes of Ayres, to the likes of Griffiths behind him.
He can't. It's a tough decision to make, especially when it's your teammate in front. As I said, Phil's now getting involved. Who invited him? Secondly, and then we've now got, of course, this fantastic fight out on circuit. Of course, as we say, the 2 SOB cars, again, they don't want to fall into that same trap that they usually do of tripping over each other. I think that's what Sylvester is trying to avoid. But at the same time, I mean, I know I'm contradicting myself here, but you've got to be selfish sometimes as a driver, and you've got to say, I don't care about the team game. I'm doing this for myself.
Yeah, and he's sitting 3rd in the championship, of course, is Sylvester at the moment. They're going to bounce over that final chicane. Newman's on the grass. Can he manage to hold it? He does manage to hold it once more, and he's closed that gap up with Steve Hefford as well. He's managed to get the gap down to 1/10. He's going to be looking on that run out of 3. Hefford's got in deep on the brakes. Newman's sending it on the inside. Job done for Pete Newman. Sylvester has got to try and have a go at Bramer. Hefford's off at the moment, and that's allowed Sylvester up into 4th place at the moment here as well, with Miles Owens out in front. Newman up 13, Bramer's up 4, Sylvester's up 4, and Hefford and Ayres, well, Hefford's where he was, Ayres is down 2. So from these guys' point of view for the SOB here, this race 2 alone could be stellar over the Momo team, currently at the moment in the team standings.
Yeah, it is fantastic for them. They're scoring some good points, and wow, what a day it is. And again, we were just talking in qualifying about how it's always the SOB cars in that top fight. They're 1st, they're 3rd, they're 4th. Beautiful stuff. Again, still some close and sketchy moments even onto the final couple of laps of this race, but Miles Owens, as long as he can keep it clean, this is going to be a very, very dominant win, I have to say though. Yeah. Pete Newman up 13 to 2nd is massive.
Sylvester's got to go for it. I think Bramer's got to look at playing the championship game here as well. We're going to be going on to the last lap very, very shortly. Oh, Sylvester hit that brake hard there to try and get that car stopped, because the only thing in front of him that was going to stop him was Ewan Bramer, and Sylvester did manage to get the car stopped. Mick Barry and Dale Benison look like they've also had a moment together. Tom Griffiths is down in 7th at the moment here and is fighting it out once more down that mid-pack with Jamie Ayres. The 2 Momos really don't want to be fighting, Zach. They kind of just want to be getting on with it and trying to close up some gap. They're on the final lap now. Barney's waving, and at the moment Sylvester's still stuck behind Bramer. Ayres has still got Griffiths stuck behind him, and then down in the arms we've got Andy Littler, Mick Barry, who has produced his own way of dealing with airflow into the engine there behind, with Alan Toon sitting 5th in class at the moment, but that's being dominated by this man Darrell Wright. So a stellar job from Darrell here as well. Sylvester's got to get Bramer. He's got to get him, Zach, for the championship if nothing else, and he's going for it now.
He's alongside. Bramer doesn't put up much of a fight. Fair play to him, and just allow Sylvester through, which is obviously third place. A couple extra points in the championship, a podium to his tally. He's not really going to be able to do much more with it, though. Pete Newman has ran off and run his course and been able to halve the gap to Miles Owens in this last lap alone. I mean, that last lap was over a second quicker than Miles Owens. I think he's just going to be running out of time a little bit too soon. Give it a lap or so more, and Pete Newman definitely would have won this race. Saying that, with half a lap left to go, he's within a second.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough for Miles Owens to try and hang on to this position, I think, as well. He's brought the gap down to 2 tenths. Owens has got to try and get past this flurry of corners. He's got to get it in, nailed in 12, nailed in 13, and he's got to defend on 14. You've left it wide open. Here comes Newman now. He's taking it.
Underneath.
He's going to try underneath Owens as well. Could we see Newman come from 15th? Dead door rubbing all the way down. Owens is losing a little bit of time coming into the final couple of corners. Owens sends it in. Newman's going to try. He's going to try.
Oh, he's done it.
Oh! This is going to be down to the line. It is Newman. Oh, my dearie me. How did he get that?
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
Fair play. Fair play to Pete Newman. And a lot of people would say Miles Owens bottled that. I mean, maybe, yeah. Maybe he should have defended the move a bit better or been a bit more aggressive, but Pete Newman's pace was so undeniably quick. His best lap time was 7/10 of a second quicker than Miles Owens, right? And that wasn't just on one lap or whatever. That was consistently, arguably, throughout the race. And Miles Owens still finished within a quarter of a second of him. Nearly had the run to the line. I'd say if the checker flag was a little bit further back and Miles Owens didn't get a slowdown, that run would have been enough to win. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and he's had to settle for second. But it was a valiant defence. Just Pete Newman had that little bit extra than Miles Owens, and he's been the one to come out on top.
Yeah, I do love Phil's there as well. Breathe, James. I'm trying, Phil, but did you just see that ending? Pete Newman is your winner by 2 tenths of a second. John Sylvester 4 tenths back from Newman there as well. The front 4 separated by less than a second. Newman, Owens, Sylvester and Bramer, incredible. Take a bow, all of you. Steve Heppard in 5th. Tom Griffiths in 6th. Darryl Wright wraps up the AMS in race 2 with Pete Van Gaal in 8th. Charles Kellerman in 9th. Then Dale Bennison, Andy Littler rounds out the podium for the AMS. Mick Barry in 12th, Sir Alan Toon 13th, Jason Haddington 14th, and then we've got Jamie Ayres, Ralph Cullinan and Dan Hunt there as well. It is that time of the evening, guys, where we do now take a break. I need a break, Zach needs a break, and as per normal, we'll see you right after this break. Okay, guys, we return for race 3, and I think you all have to admit it was an epic ending to race 2. I am James Parfitt, still joined here with Zach Sweeney in the booth for the next 2 races, and I think we can admit if they're anything like race 1 and 2 here, Zach, well, race 3 and 4 could be epic.
Yeah, bring it on. Cannot wait. Obviously, for those of you that are just joining us, race 2 ended in fireworks. Obviously, you can see Miles Owens there in the YouTube chat claiming he bottled it. It was a fantastic race. He led from pole until Pete Newman made that late charge towards the front, and on the final lap made a sensational move to find his way into the race lead. Yeah, one of the best races that I can remember. Again, just going to show that the UK SimRacers MX5 Championship already has set itself up to such a high standard. Somehow it still delivers itself to that standard. Race 2 proved it. Race 2 even surpassed it, which is an even tougher thing to do. So yeah, wind on the second half.
Right, so random reverse for race 3, Mr. Sweeney. Who are you going with? You cannot have Dan Hunt and you cannot have Jamie Ayres.
Oh, is it bad if I want to go for Pete Newman? Because he just proved that you can come from anywhere and win. So I'm going for Pete Newman. But watch this be the race he doesn't do well.
Okay.
No, Pete Newman, yeah.
I'm going to go... Who can I not have? I can't have Sylvester and I can't have Newman. Well, that's fine because you've got Newman already.
Yep.
No Dan Hunt for this one. I'm wondering if Dan's called it a night. I'm going to go with Jamie Ayres. He's been unlucky, deserves some luck, and hopefully he'll get it in this one. So I'm going to go with Jamie Ayres, I think, on this one. Zach here as well. Thanks so much for everybody that's joined us as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells and all the other fancy jazz that comes with being a completely free subscription service on YouTube, of course. And much love to everybody here as well. It's it's been an interesting evening. I am breathing Phil, which is always good. I do find that a plus here as well. But as you probably know, if you've ever watched the JPB broadcast, you do get some excitement from myself. So the grid is coming up for race 3. So let's see what happens there. As well, Zach, but it's going to be exciting, I feel. Right. Here is the grid for race 3. Tom Griffiths is on pole with Pete Van Gaal in 2nd, Ewan Bramer 3rd, Jason Hannington 4th, John Sylvester 5th, Miles Owens 6th, Charles Kellerman 7th, Dale Benison 8th, Sir Alan Toon 9th, Andy Littler down in 10th, Mick Barry 11th, and Newman down in 12th. Darrell Wright, Jamie Ayres, Ralph Cullen, and Steve Hefford. Ouch. Right, the lights are up and running. We're going to be up and underway very, very shortly as we start going off for race 3. 5 lights, and now we are going to be green, green, green here once more at Magny. Tom Griffiths got an absolute flyer with P. Van Gaal. Ewan Bramer, Jason Haddington doing a great job and hanging on to the 4th place as well. Newman's up 2 already. Ayres is up 2. Cullinan's off the track, pirouetting like a ballerina in Swan Lake, unfortunately for him. But Tom Griffiths leads us away there, Zach, and only Ralph Cullen is the first lap punisher, should we say.
Yeah, he's unfortunately not really had the best of starts, but Tom Griffiths has had a really, really good launch. I mean, from pole position now into, well, staying in the race lead. PVG, Ewan Bramer behind. Definitely good shouts. Look out for Pete Newman, though. Already up 4 places in the opening moments. Make that 5 as he picks his way past Jason Haddington, who himself is down 4 places. Jamie Ayres up 5 as well, but here we go potentially for the race lead. PVG trying to put some pressure on his teammate of Tom Griffiths. No way through for now. It's a Momo 1-2 with the 2 SB cars making it 3 and 4. Yeah,
Charles Kellerman slotting in there once more in 6th place at the moment as well. He's got Pete Newman right behind him. Jason Haddington's got Jamie Ayres. Haddington leads It's the AM fight in race 3 at the moment, with Jamie Ayres looking at coming in as well, making it another one on Ayres' +5. Bramer, Pete Van Gaal. Griffiths has got to slow down. He's lost absolutely bunches of positions. He's down 6, down 7, unfortunately, for Tom Griffiths. Haddington and Ayres is going to get the inside line, and Ayres is going to move up into that 8th place here, up 6 places. PVG and E1 Bramer, the two Dutchmen here, that going for it once more.
Yeah, exactly what we love to see. They're going toe-to-toe for the second time this evening, and that is showing no sign of slowing down whatsoever. Huge shame for Tom Griffiths, but what it does mean is we have got a fantastic fight still in store for us as well. Pete Newman is latched onto the back of this train. He's in 6th place already, and with still just under 13 minutes left of this race to go, James, that is a very, very scary prospect.
Yeah, for Tom Griffiths, unfortunately, he's got a very scary prospect of Jamie Ayres there, who looks a little bit quicker over the course of the evening. We've seen Griffiths struggle a little bit at this Magny Cours circuit. Of course, these guys battling it out in the championship fight. They are 1 and 2 in that champ fight as well, so I can guarantee there's going to be no team orders. What about Sylvester? What about Owens? What about Bramer? Bramer's internet's going once more round the outside of 5. Newman's got up the inside of Kellerman. He's up 7. I'm not going to put it past Pete Newman for this win here. I just can't. But from my own selfish needs here, I just can't have Pete Newman win. But I've got a funny feeling here, Zach, he could possibly do it again.
I think so. I think Pete Newman is such a good shout. I don't know what it is about Magny Cours, but he is switched on tonight. That is, that goes without saying. That is without a doubt. That is, you know, there are not very few things that are certain in life. Pete Newman being quick in an MX5 around Magny Cours, that is one of them. That is very much one of the certainties. And now he's trying to prove said certainty and move his way past. First up, though, the 3 SOB cars. Owen, Sylvester, Bramer, all in a line. And, well, then he's got to get himself past PVG. But, yeah, well, first it's the triplet of the white and black. But look at Bramer. He's on up a race lead. He's not caring about Newman at this stage. He just wants that race lead.
Yeah, he's going to try and go with PVG. He's got to look at if he's going to have a go up the inside of turn 15. Nothing doing there for Bramer this time. PVG runs wide. Bramer's going to try and tuck it up into the 15 and 16. Van Gaal's on the grass. He's on the grass. Has he got it? He manages to hold on it. And now here comes Ewan Bramer. Is he going to take the inside down into 1? He's not going to be able to get it done this time around for Ewan Bramer. Can he run around the outside of 3? Is he going to be able to do this as well? We got 6 cars all close together. 7 with Jamie Ayres, who has now got past Tom Griffiths and is tracking onto the back of Charles Kellerman rapidly, as Newman has made it nearly just about past Miles Owens. Do we reckon going down into turn 5 here, Zach?
Oh, it's going to be close. Very, very close. There are many fights going on all at once. It's going to be the last of the late breakers. Inside line, Pete Newman breaks early. Oh, my goodness me. Bramer's broke way too late. And unfortunately, has not been able to find his way past PVG. It was Miles Owens going way too wide relative to Pete Newman. And, well, has fallen victim to Kellerman, Ayres and Owens. PVG still finds himself in the race lead. But huge news there for Owens, just way too late on the brakes, and unfortunately finds himself out of this fight for now. Inside line though, Ewan Bramer throwing everything and the kitchen sink all at PVG.
Yeah, he's trying. Jamie Ayres has got onto the back of Kellerman here, and once more they go running off through turn 11, down into the 12-13 chicane. This is a sight that we've seen of incidents this evening. Are we going to see another one here from PVG? We're not. Are we going to see it from Bramer? Nope. Sylvester? Nope. Kellerman? Nope. And Ayres with Newman. Newman is really, really close to John Sylvester here, Zach. He's pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. It looks like he's got to slow down. He's lost positions to Jamie Ayres. He's lost a position to Miles Owens, and he's lost a position to Charles Kellerman. So from Newman's point of view now, one slowdown has cost him 3 positions.
Yeah, that's huge. Huge, and just goes to show the competitiveness of this field, that one small mistake can result in quite big consequences. I've got no doubt he'll be able to pick his way back through the field. but he's got to be careful not to replicate that same mistake. But I suppose when you're forced to push this hard, mistakes like that are almost a guarantee.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be happening, unfortunately, here as well. Jamie Ayres has got Miles Owens for company. Pete Newman is still on the back of these two as well, as Ayres is going after Kellerman. Is he going to be able to get through on that run down into turn 5? If Kellerman leaves that door up open, he has done as well. He's done it. He's left the door wide open, and here comes Jamie Ayres up the inside. He's going to say thank you very much. Ayres up into 4th. Bramer runs a little bit wide. He's got Sylvester tucked up with him as well. And now PVG going once more down through into turn 7 and 8. He's got to be careful because he's got literally 7 cars battling it out with him here, Zach. And this is just what we see week in, week out from these guys. It's so unusual in other series to have these amount of cars battling away. Newman's just gone past Owens once again. Owens is going to try to cut back underneath. They are side by side as well here, Zach, as we go through 12 and 13.
Yeah, Miles Owens not going down without a fight relative to Pete Newman. However, the 5.8k iRacing driver, the Pure Sims machine, goes the long way round. Miles Owens is off. And once again, these two come into blows. It is such a good rivalry this evening between those two. Pete Newman is the one that comes out on top and now has got a 2.5 deficit to the rest of that pack. I will say Charles Kellerman is having a really good race, but Pete Newman, he's got to get onto the back of this train sooner rather than later.
Yeah, around turn 15, they go through the left, right of 16 and 17. Van Gaal nearly made that mistake once more. Ayres is closing in the gap in the background. In fact, he's just set the fastest lap on a 1:56.950 for Jamie Ayres. We've got Momo, SOB, Momo, Optical Green, Pure Sims, SOB, Momo further back from that. But here comes Bramer. There's going to be a back marker there of Steve Hefford in front of him as well. How much of an influence is he going to play here as well with his, well, I'm going to say ex-teammate, but that's probably not really going to do the Momo boys justice, because it does sound like they, you know, there was a fracas and Hefford left. He didn't. It was anyway. We're going off that now as well, and Van Gaal and Bramer and also Sylvester with Ayres. This 4-car train going for it here, Zach, as well. How is this one going to turn out with 6 minutes remaining?
Oh, that's the thing about this championship, is you never know. Right now, it's the outside line for Ewan Bramer. PVG is able to hold firm, but the Constantina effect in behind. John Sylvester trying to capitalise. Inside line as well. Jamie Ayres trying to make the most of all the carnage. They all are trying to make the most of all the carnage. And, well, how there were no positional changes in that entire scrap, I do not know. But what it has done is it's reeled back in Pete Newman. Miles Owens not a million miles away either. We are in for fireworks in the final 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, good evening, Paul LeMay as well. Thank you so much for joining us this late on in Race 3. This has been an incredible race so far. Race 2 was absolutely epic. The win coming down to the final corners, but this one could be even closer. We've sitting with 7 cars who are all in with a shout. 5 minutes remaining. You see Jamie Ayres sweeping now down, Pete Van Gaal, sorry, down into 15. Ayres is tucked up right behind him as well. Bramer's in with a shot though. He's not going down without a fight at the moment, and we've got a Dutch 1-2 currently here as well. Good evening, Pup. Thank you so much for joining us. It is just going to go off here, Zach, with these last 4 minutes.
Oh, it is. Oh, wow. Again, these guys are like a pressure cooker, and the further into the race you get, the pressure builds and it builds and it builds, and it gets to where it's, you know, the pressure starts to boil over, and that is when we really start to see some entertaining racing. You think the last 11 minutes have been good, you just wait for these final 3 laps. Jamie Ayres trying to have a front row seat to the fight between the 2 SMB cars. John Sylvester pulling his way alongside Ewan Bramer. How kind is the Dutchman going to take to that one? How hard is he going to fight it? Close to contact, bit of a rub. Ayres late on the brakes as well. He picks his way underneath, not 1 but 2 of them, and he gets the run. He's now side by side with John Sylvester, the new championship leader, fighting his way for second.
Yeah, Jamie Ayres having a go at Sylvester. He's side by side as they go through now. Is this going to work out for Jamie Ayres? He's tucked him right behind this time around. There was no repeat of the incident further back. Newman's trying to have a go. Pete Van Gaal has made a mistake mistake. Ewan Bramer, or John Sylvester, sorry, has gone through here as well. There's now a back marker of Steve Hefford. He moves that car out the way. Hefford's got damage on the left-hand side. He's moved it onto the grass. He's hugged the left-hand side. Everybody's going strooning past Steve Hefford here as well. And that's a strange position for Hefford to be in. But Sylvester has taken that lead. He's taken it over PVG. Jamie Ayres is tucked in third here with, who has he got behind him? Bramer and Newman. Oh, God, I'm losing my train of thought here, Zach.
Yeah, no, there's things everywhere. It's fair enough, because so am I, and I'm so sure everyone else at home as well, because, yeah, this is carnage, this is chaos, this is exactly what we like to see. And this, by the way, is the UK SimRacers MX5 Season 2 of 2023. And we thought Magny Cours wasn't going to deliver. James, it's been exactly the opposite.
It definitely has here as well. I'm not a fan of this circuit, but boy, oh boy, have these boys put on a show here once more, and they've done a great job there as well. I thought Ayres was going to run on PVG. He's going to look for the exit is Jamie Ayres. He's got to be trying to tuck back up. PVG is going to have a go at Ewan Bramer. That's without a shadow of a doubt. As they start coming down into turn 5, PVG's gone on the outside. Ayres is going to tuck in behind Bramer. He needs that door left wide open for him. Coming down into turn 5, PVG is not going to make that work. Is Ayres going to tuck up? Newman's coming, and oh, there's going to be... Oh, dearie me. What an epic race this has been so far here, Zach, as we're going to be on the last lap this time around, and Ayres has gone past Sylvester with PVG retaking the lead.
Wow. This is everything you could want. Pete Newman, by the way, I'm surprised he's not made more progress forwards. He's running out of opportunities to do it. We've got a lap and a half left to go of this race, less than even. And yeah, if he wants to win this race, he's got to pick his way through. But PVG doing a sensational job of keeping the pace, keeping the standard of driving towards the front. You can see there, nose to tail is Jamie Ayres and John Sylvester as they fight for second. Of course, Jamie Ayres trying to consolidate his place in the championship, and with Griffiths down in P8, I don't think Jamie Ayres wants to risk too much, knowing that the difference between second and eighth in the points standings, the points that he's going to get from this race, is enough. He doesn't really want to risk too much because he's already gaining a lot.
Ayres is now, though, is he going to go and challenge PVG? That's going to be the question. Is he going to have a go at him here once more on this final lap of the race for race 3? Barney's waving. There's two Barneys. Blimey, we've got twins here at Magny Cours. And now Ayres has only got one lap. It's one lap shot. This is where we've seen from Newman do it over Miles Owens at the end of the last race. He's gonna not do this. Sylvester's got a run coming out of turn 3. Here we go now with John Sylvester and Jamie Ayres. They're going to be, well, Ayres is on the defensive here, Zach. He's got no choice.
Yeah, he's forced. And now, here comes John Sylvester to the left-hand side. You've got Ewan Bramer as well, waiting for his chance into turn number 5 for the finals. No. He moves across. There's contact. Oh, my word. And there's contact again. Kellerman's too late on the brakes. And he's taken Ewan Bramer with him. He tumbles down to the back end of the top 8. And Pete Newman finds his way into third. Jamie Ayres hangs on to second. Wow. I did not expect that. An absolute bullet in Charles Kellerman.
Down into turn 5 for Kellerman there as well, and unfortunately that was just late on the brake, straight into the side of Ewan Bramer. PVG, oh, big slides from the back from Sylvester. We're on the final run. We've got literally nearly 5-6 corners remaining here. Jamie Ayres running side by side with Pete Newman. Newman tucks in right behind him as they go round 12 and 13. Now on to 14. You've got that left-hander, and then you've got a break and look at taking the car right. Is this going to be Newman's opportunity? Down into 15. Is PVG going to hang on to this once more here as well? Final lap, final few corners. Surely PVG's got this. Zach, he can't make a mistake now, can he? It's going to be Jamie Ayres and Pete Newman fighting out for second.
I think so. One more chicane left to go for race number 3, and PVG has dominated.
Oh, It goes over the line as well. Newman comes over in third place with the SOB boys behind. Darrell Wright is going to wrap up the victory in the AMs here as well. But PVG, Ayres, Newman, Sylvester, Owens, Bramer, Kellerman, I've got to be honest, that was absolutely incredible. And we see from Kellerman's point of view, you can see the battles up in front here as well, Zach. He was a long way back there. Oh,
way
too late.
I think that's more target fixation than anything. He's watching the fight in front, trying to maybe focus on how he's going to react to it. So much so that he's forgotten where to break or forgotten to break full stop. And it's easily done, of course. You know, there's no malice in that. He wasn't aiming for Ewan Bramer by any means. I think, again, his eyes were just tunnel visioned onto that front fight, and his left foot just didn't cooperate with him. And yeah, it's a shame because Ewan Bramer suffered from it, and he could maybe have done onto the podium. But, you know, it's racing, and those are the unpredictable things that you have to come to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just been incredible racing there as well. I don't know, just in complete and utter amazement as Alan Toon finishes off and goes over the line. But here are the race 1 results. Once more, Pete Van Gaal is your winner with Jamie Ayres in second. Sylvester got third. Owens got fourth. Griffiths got fifth. Bramer got sixth. Kellerman seventh. Cullinan in the eighth. Darrell Wright 9th, Dale Benison 10th, Jason Addington 11th, Andy Littler 12th, Mick Barry 13th. Pete Newman must have crossed the line with a penalty. He's down in 14th. So Alan Toon and then Steve Hefford. He must have crossed the line with a penalty. Because he must...
Does a slowdown?
Yeah, if he doesn't get rid of the slowdown before he comes over the line, he gets a 40-second or 45-second penalty, I believe it is. Oh, Newman. Oh.
Naughty.
That's huge for you in the points, sir. I'm not going to lie.
No, I know. Yep. Just a silly championship anyway. Doesn't even matter. Yeah, not salty at all. No.
Okay. I find that hard to believe, young Zach.
So you don't trust me, is what you're saying?
No.
No, it's not. It's nice to know where we stand. It's fine.
It's not about trust. It's about, I've seen you before, you know what I mean, brag about getting it right and all of this. And then obviously from that situation with Newman having a penalty, you know, I just find it hard that you're not salty about the fact that that's happened to you and dropped you further down the order. So, you know, hey, look. Going on to race 4 there as well. Sorry, Brem. No worries, Charles. It happens to all of us. He got tunnel vision, we think, and just completely missed his breaking point. So, yeah. Just incredible racing from all of them. We can't really argue over that ending there, Zach. It was just amazing.
It was. And exactly what we come here. And exactly why we do what we do. It's races like that I became a commentator, because it's just the passion. And watching that and knowing they're giving their absolute all for the common goal of trying to win a race. It's just the most, you know, captivating thing that you can watch. And I hope everyone at home has been enjoying the stream as well, because yeah, this has been one of the most enjoyable nights of commentary that I've been able to do. And after, you know, I'm not used to it, right? It's been a while since I've been up at, you know, the crack of dawn and coming home in the, you know, late evening. I've been tired the last couple of days. And then this one has really woken me up. It's given me something to stay awake for. And I'm very grateful for that, because I was knackered. And now I've got to enjoy the last couple of hours worth of MX5s. And we've still got one more race to go.
Yes. One more race to go. How is this one going to turn out for race 4 here, Zach? Right. Who's your pick?
What's the reverse grid? Top 14, hopefully.
No, I don't think it's 14. They weren't going over 10 at the moment.
Oh, right, all right, okay. Uh, so I've gone Ayres, I've gone Newman, and I've gone Daniel Hunt. So realistically, my only choice is either John Sylvester might be a good shout, or I think Ewan Bramer's going to finally get his moment. I'm going to go with Ewan Bramer.
Okay, well, so I've had Newman, I've had Sylvester, and I've had Ayres.
Yes.
PVG.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, wow.
Well, not again. That's my first time.
Well, for another win, yeah. Is what I mean.
Yeah. Let's go with PVG.
Touche. Fair enough. Good shout. Let's do.
Hopefully it's a good shout.
You'd hope so.
I hope so. But let's see. Callum Ingham. Hello, James. Hello, fellow Norfolkian.
Norfolkian, maybe.
Norfolkian. I think he's referring to
Norfolk.
Norfolkian.
Norfolkian.
No.
Unless it's Ken, but I don't know.
Is that a word?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
But we're not people, so we can make stuff up, I suppose, being Norfolkans. But yeah, here we go. Race 4.
Dale Benison on pole with Darrell Wright, Ralph Cullinan and Charles Kellerman, your top 4. Ewan Bramer 5th, Tom Griffiths 6th, Miles Owen 7th, John Sylvester 8th, Jamie Ayres 9th, Pete Van Gaal 10th, Jason Huntington 11th, and Andy Littler down in 12th. Mick Barry, Pete Newman, Sir Alan Toon and Steve Hefford once more rounds out the grid for race 3, and it's going to be Dale Benison under the cosh right at the beginning here. How is this going to work out for Dale Benison, Zach? An am on the front row.
It's an AM front row as well. I think Darrell Wright is going to very quickly try to put himself into the lead. He's got pace. I would like to see Darrell Wright fight for this win. Will it happen? Probably not, but we'll find out in 15 minutes' time.
Okay, here we go. Lights are going to be on for this final 15 minutes here as well. And Dale Benison got a start with Darrell Wright, not really getting off the line. Ralph Cullinan, Charles Kellerman coming through. Jamie Ayres has jumped John Sylvester. Sylvester's trying to have a way through once more. PVG sitting down there with currently Jason Haddington. No game for PVG, but Dale Benison got to jump right at the beginning. Is that, and he leads the field down into turn 5.
Yep, good start from Ewan Bramer. Already upper plays. Miles Owens as well up 2. It's carnage in the background. You can see Tom Griffiths side by side with John Sylvester. They swap places as they jostle for position through the Golf Kink and into the hairpin here at turn number 5. It's Benison that still leads from Darrell Wright, who's looking to send it on the brakes, but Ralph Cullinan is on his outside. Darrell Wright sends it though. He's got the inside line. He got given the space as well. Benison left stranded on the outside, and it's the Flying Dutchman of Ewan Bramer that picks his way past and might now find himself fighting for the lead.
Ewan Bramer now trying to have a go at Darrell Wright as they're coming into that chicane. Bramer does. He bounces a massive curve. Darrell Wright and Dale Benison are going to take slowdowns now as well because they've just jumped to that whole chicane. Ewan Bramer with Ralph Cullinan. They're 3 wide further back as well. There's an SOB. There's Tom Griffiths involved in that as well. I think that's John Sylvester down the order and down all the way to the back of the grid. Newman is out. I think Newman is out already. And Darrell Wright now battling away. There was contact with Jamie Ayres. Darrell Wright pirouetting once more, and now PVG's up into 6th place. It's all going off here with Darrell Wright and Dale Benison.
Yeah, that was a very well held spin from Darrell Wright. Unfortunately, it's put him on the back foot. PVG tries to find his way past Mick Barry, and well, we'll be hoping to make light work of the AM. However, Mick Barry stays ahead going into the next corner, and PVG is going to have to wait for his moment to strike. The front, I must say, it's looking quite interesting. The top 4 not separated by too much. That's a little bit wide, and Mick Barry into the... Oh, there's more contact. He's collected. I think that might... was that Steve Hefford he hit?
Oh, Mick Barry.
Oh, no. Oh, who's that on there for the background as well?
Hold on, we'll have a look here because this is Barry and Hefford. He starts to lose it. Everybody goes
In a
the
bit,
opposite side. Yeah, watch. Oh.
Hefford can't see. That's the problem. He's so close to the car in front, he couldn't see and couldn't react to it. So by the time he did, it was a goner. That's Charles Kellerman having an off. I think it was Dale Bennison that went off from what we saw. Yeah, it might have been. He's now down in 12th. But yeah, that was an unfortunate shunt for Steve Hefford.
Yeah, I'm not sure Hefford could actually see what the heck was going on there on the start-finish straight, but it is Cullinan out in front with Ewan Bramer, with Ayres, with Owens and PVG here as well. We've lost Kellerman, we've lost Newman, we've lost Barry. I got a funny feeling we could be losing Steve Hefford as well, and now it's going to be up to these front three with the possibility of Miles Owens and Pete Van Gaal joining in the action to make it a front four. But there was a big old defense from Ewan Bramer going down into 14th there. He pulled it over and completely took the nose off Jamie Ayres. Dale Bennison has had a moment, unfortunately, there as well. So did Charles Kellerman at the end of lap one. Not entirely sure what happened to Kellerman. He just seemed to be going down the pit lane backwards at the time we found him there, Zach. But we can have a look and see exactly what Charles Kellerman got up to here as... Oh, he was involved.
Ouch.
So Kellerman was involved.
Yeah, he just caught the aftermath of it. Similar to Hefford, I think, just couldn't react in time. And yeah, just got the worst end of it. Finds himself out of this race. But very much in this race are the top three. Ralph Cullinan searching for not only his first win, his first podium of the season, and, well, Ewan Bramer, Jamie Ayres looking to add to their tallies, and Ewan Bramer, hopefully, is going to try and find a way past soon. However, to see Ralph Cullinan win would be huge. Jamie Ayres wants to win, of course, for his championship fight, and they go three wide into the hairpin at the back end of the circuit. It's Ayres on the outside, Bramer in the middle, and Cullinan defending the lead, up and under potentially, but Ayres has gone too wide. Miles Owens nicks his way up the inside of the championship leader, and really causes an upset to his plan.
Yeah, Cullinan now still leading away with Ewan Bramer coming into turn 7. Here further back, Jamie Ayres, Miles Owens, Pete Van Gaal was getting on to the back. He's been slowly pulling them in. Here's the Dutchman. He's got Miles Owens in front of him now as well. This 5-car battle is going to commence. 9:47 on the clock. And now we're in for a 5-car fight led by the Irishman, the Dutchman in second, the Welshman in third, the Englishman fourth, and then another Dutchman rounding off the 5th place. It is a multinational front 5 here in the UK SimRacers for this roll. No. Bramer sent it on Cullinan there. Cullinan really had nowhere to go.
Nah, not really, but it's still fighting on. So he can argue the toss all he likes, but right now he's still fighting for a podium place, still maybe even fighting for a win. Jamie Ayres is late on the brakes. Ewan Bramer takes the lead, of course, but Cullinan unfortunately dropping to 3rd. He's got to be on the pace, though, from here if he wants to have any chance of fighting back, because he should know full well that Ayres and Bramer are going to go at it toe-to-toe. If he can sit there, wait for a moment, he's got a good chance of getting that lead back.
Yeah, he does, but PVG, we're on board with him now. We can see the 4 cars. Sylvester's got the fastest lap, 1:57.004. These guys are not letting up. Here's going to come PVG now. He gets a little bit of a run coming out of 3. Is he going to be able to close that gap there once more onto the 4 in front? He's picking up the draft. Owens is picking up the draft. Cullinan's picking up the draft. Ayres is picking up the draft. It's a one-train draft fest here. Oh, they crashed on a straight. Owens and Cullinan.
How have they managed that? Oh my goodness me.
Not on a straight. Come on. Cullinan move over or not?
I honestly think that was... I think that was Owens there. I think he moved over.
Well,
It was slight. It was very slight. It was maybe a 3-degree angle to the right, but it was enough to angle his car and to tag him round. it's just one of those things, isn't it? As drivers, you naturally sort of just gravitate towards each other, and that's why we usually see those ding-dongs on straights, is because you just merge into each other, and then as you're at that speed, you just, you know, like two marbles sitting each other, you just spear off in opposite directions. And unfortunately, Cullinan was the receiving end of that bad luck. Owens has been able to carry on, but yeah, on a straight, it's never what you like to see, because it's not like you can argue the toss about it as to who had the apex first, because really you should be having your steering wheel pointing in a straight line.
And opposite to each other in general, there's enough room on that straight to make sure they don't have to come together. The leaders are going off round turn 3. Jamie Ayres goes in incredibly quick onto the back of E1 Bremer. Bremer's still leading, but here comes PVG. Here he comes. The other Flying Dutchman's going to have to pick up the draft from his teammate as they come down into turn 5 now. Ayres is trying to get that inside line. Bremer's making sure he doesn't. He's hugging that white line. I'm surprised PVG opened up the door and didn't slip behind E1 Bremer there. He could have got that position over Jamie Ayres, and now these three are going at it. To SOB, to Momo. We just see Miles Owens get a big old drift on in the background there, Zach, as well, and he's dropped back 1.3 seconds, but Jamie Ayres is trying to go at it with E1 Bremer. Oh, he's bounced the curb. Ayres has got to look at the inside, surely. Oh, Bremer did stop it as well.
Yeah, they're all very clever drivers. They all know how to defend. E1 Bremer, however, with a small mistake, maybe giving the opportunity to Jamie Ayres to find a way through. He's, of course, got the support of his teammate at PVG as well. They go side by side for the race leads here. E1 Bremer, Jamie Ayres. It's the inside line for the white and black SOB machine as they run their way through the far chicane and, of course, in to the next left-hander, right-hander, I should say, quite tight one as well. And now Miles Owens makes the rear end of this train. It's a Momo sandwich with good old SOB bread.
Yeah, it definitely is, but let's see what this will happen there. PVG pulls out to the right-hand side. Jamie Ayres is going to go and try and go around the outside. Bremer's got the defenses on at the moment. He's doing a great job as they come through that final corner there as well. Bremer's onto the grass. Is he going to be able to hold it? He does. His Ayres going to slip up the inside. He is looking. PVG's tucking up once more as well. I've got a funny feeling PVG and Jamie Ayres are going to go through over Bremer, who may have possibly got a slowdown, because now Miles Owens is gone past him as well, and now we've got a PVG, Jamie Ayres fight up the front with Miles Owens and E1 Bremer. We've got Sylvester, Cullen and Hepford is still in the pits. Kellerman, Barry, Newman out. Sylvester's had a horrid time. I've got 4 notifications that poor old John Sylvester has just had a crash after a crash after a crash here, and now PVG's trying to head down the outside of turn 5. Bremer's Owens is looking up the inside of PVG. Is there going to be contact? Oh. I don't know how this is going to turn out with 4 minutes on the clock here, Zach. I'm not going to lie.
No, it could go anyway. Any one of these 4 drivers could win it, and we don't know who that's gonna be until they cross the checkered flag. We don't even know what the apex of the final corner. That's wide though. PVG's gone in deep, and it's opened the door for the 2 SOB cars of Owens and Bremer to pick their way through, going through the 180-degree corner. And well, PVG with an uncharacteristic mistake there, falling to 4th. But well, in a fight this hard, that is by no means the end of the battle. However, Bremer, do not fight with PVG too hard. Stay with the top 2, because you do not want them to get away. That is the quickest way to bottle this race.
Yeah, but we know E1 Bremer does like a good old scrap when he gets going, though, Zach. He's like a prize fighter. For an old timer that's been around the block a few times, he loves to have a good old scrap, does E1 Bremer. And what he doesn't want to do is have that scrap with Pete Van Gaal, but it's looking like he's still going to set him up for a scrap with Pete Van Gaal here as well, while Miles Owens and Jamie Ayres are breaking away. They've just got the gap down below a second, these two, once more. But PVG's got to be looking at trying to get onto the back of Miles Owens sooner rather than later and try and clear E1 Bremer as quick as physically possible, but he hasn't done it, and he's got to slow down for Pete Van Gaal.
Yeah, not great, and well, has put him into the clutches of Tom Griffiths, who would love the opportunity of scoring a couple of extra points. I'm sure maybe on average this is going to be one of his worst ones, so maybe could drop Long Beach. Not Long Beach. Where on earth did I get Long Beach from? Magny Cours. It's because I think Tom Griffiths, one of his worst scores last season was Long Beach. Maybe, I don't know. I'm lost because of how crazy this race is. It's completely fried my train of thought, and it's Jamie Ayres and Miles Owens still fighting over the lead. PVG not making way for Tom Griffiths, however, as they exit Adelaide once again, the hairpin at turn number 5, and Jamie Ayres still able to stay in front, but with just, I think, going to be one more lap to go after this one. Oh, time is of the essence.
Yeah, it is here as well. And, well, it shows they've dropped PVG 1.9 seconds already there. And it is Ayres, Owens, Bramer with PVG in 4th. Let's see now as they're going to be coming around. They're going to be finishing off lap 7. They've got one more to go here, Zach. Who's your money on now? I know you had E on Bramer. Is it still on Bramer for the win?
I mean, these are the types of situations where it can go anyone's way. And I think Bramer might be able to do it, but he needs to be smart about it. Miles Owens goes alongside Jamie Ayres. These are the moments that E1 Bramer has to capitalise on. How can he make the most of this situation? Does he follow Owens? Does he follow Ayres? Who is going to be the one to trust more? Late on the brakes from Owens, he runs in wide, and those are the moments that Bramer needs to be so close, just to be able to nip his way back up the inside, maybe of both of them. But however, onto the final lap of the race, and well, all will be answered soon.
Definitely will there as well. Let's see how in the next 1 minute and 58 seconds, give or take, who's going to get this here. Miles Owens has taken the lead. Is he going to get the victory that I think we can safely say after race 2 he thoroughly deserves here, because he did have that moment at the end when Newman caught up. But Van Gore is still a second back at the moment. He is only a second. Owens on the defensive as they're coming down towards us in turn 5 here once more, Zach, and it's getting free wide into turn 5. Ayres is going to nip up the inside. Is he going to have a go now? Jamie Ayres played that like an absolute pro there, Zach, and just waited for them to make that mistake going down into turn 5 for the SOB boys.
Yeah, that's why he's the championship leader, and now he's going to have to prove it, because Miles Owens once again chucks the car to the inside. It'll give him the inside once again. Going through the 180-degree corner, there's contact again. PVG back into the mix with Ewan Bramer, and look at that from the red and white Momo car. He tries to sail his way around the outside of the Dutchman, and now they continue their battle for what is going to be 3rd place. PVG still alongside, but Bramer does not want to be fighting for 3rd. He wants 1st place. He wants the gold, and he's going to give everything in the final half lap of this race here at Magny Cours. It's Miles Owens that leads from Jamie Ayres, and with no Pete Newman in sight, he might be able to take it, but Ayres is throwing everything at him.
Yeah, Ayres has just gone up the inside of turn 14 now as we go running down into 15. The final couple of corners, Owens has got that inside line. They're leaning on each other down the straight here for Owens and Ayres. Who's going to get this as we're coming down into 15? Owens sends it in deep. He runs Ayres out onto the gravel trap. Ayres is gone. Ayres is gone. It's going to be Owens. It's going to be Van Gore. It's going to be Bramer and Griffiths. Ayres comes over the line in 5th place.
Wow.
I don't know if I can cope with this. I've got to be honest. It's incredible.
It is.
Oh.
Yeah. Heart rate is through the roof. Yeah, what a race. What race is? Let's put it that way. I mean, we talk about it in just in a singular isolation of one race. It's been a great evening of action all the way through. Jason Addington, by the way, to take the win for the AMs versus Darryl Wright, who's not really had the best of race for this one. Down 8 places from the front row, will come across in 10th. But yeah, great 4 races. And did we have a repeat winner? I don't think so.
No. 4 different winners.
We didn't.
4 different winners. The only repeat winner of the evening was Darryl Wright for race 1, 2, and 3.
None of the overalls.
Nope. It was Sylvester, Newman, PVG, and Owens. So there we go. No repeat winners this evening there as well. I think we can safely say we have just watched some incredible racing. We're just waiting for Darryl Wright to come over the line, of course, finishing 4th in the AMS. And there he goes, and he finishes up once more. But here are the results of the final race of the evening. Miles Owens does take the win there, his first win this evening after losing it in the final lap and the final corner to Pete Newman in race 2. PVG in second, Ewan Bramer in third, Tom Griffiths in 4th. Jason Haddington, a great win in the AMS in 5th with Andy Littler in 6th, Jamie Ayres in 7th. Dale Bennison rounds out the AM podiums there as well. Alan Toon down in 9th, Darryl Wright 10th, Ralph Cullinan 12th, Ralph Cullinan 11th, John Sylvester 12th. Then we've got Hefford, Barry, Kellerman and Newman, who did not finish the race here as well. Final thoughts from you, Zach, I guess.
Well, what to say? I mean, I suppose bring on the final 2 rounds of this season, because again, with every week, you want more, you crave more, and you look forward to the next week of racing action. So yeah, Magny Cours has delivered exactly that, and forcing us really to indulge into the next couple of weeks of racing action, because we've got championships to decide, especially with Ayres having a decent night and Tom Griffiths not so much, and so many different narratives to unfold as we go through the final 8 races now, I suppose, of the championship. Yeah, what a summer season this has been.
Rounds here are Mid-Ohio, and we finished the season at Spa. Wow. Mid-Ohio and Spa. That is going to be absolutely incredible evenings of racing. But I think, guys, that just about wraps up tonight's broadcast, and what an incredible one it has been here as well. I think we can safely say Magny Cours has delivered great 4 rounds of racing. But for now, guys, from myself up here in the booth, I've been James Parfitt. I've had Zach Sweeney alongside me, and as always, you take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.